morning. How are you, everybody? Yes, before you say anything, I have got a super sunburnt nose and it's peeling, so I look like Rudolph. So try not to be too cruel. We're just out for a little mini adventure today. I thought I'd bring you somewhere different. I'm actually in a beautiful sculpture garden just outside Penzance. I was actually away this weekend on a sea kayaking course, which was so cool. It was a really kind gift from somebody to, try and get me going again. And it was amazing being out there on the water. A bit emotional as well. Like it was challenging. I was a little bit scared. I'm kind of scared of the sea. So getting out there and doing all these things was kind of fun and exciting and a little bit scary all at the same time. It was lovely being out there on the water and getting the chance to see the coastline from a different angle. I actually decided to camp for the night as well, so I could test out some camping gear that I was thinking about using for some of these kind of challenges that I've been talking about, maybe going for a long distance walk or a long distance boat trip where I'd be wild camping each night. So I took this little tent which somebody lent me years ago, which is a kind of backpacking tent which I'd never put up. I borrowed a sleeping mat and I took a sleeping bag. So tried to just go minimal, like how it would be if I was actually carrying this stuff. And it was an experience. To be honest, I kind of struggled, like spending that night by myself. It's the first night I've been by myself for ages. Usually I'm with Nancy the whole time every night. And me and Nancy were also living with my sister for the past 6 months. So spending that night by myself and in slightly uncomfortable circumstances just felt so strange. And it was emotionally challenging. And I think having that time to myself this weekend out on the sea and at the campsite really made me kind of start thinking even more about what I want in life, what makes me happy, and what my purpose might be.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's good. It's nice and peaceful. It's because the land here was owned by the monks who owned St Michael's Mount. And they had a vineyard.
You know a lot, don't you, champ?
I do, and I think it has a very similar kind of peaceful feeling.
What was it called where we are?
Tremenere Sculpture Garden.
There we go. Heard it here first. I think it just made me think and start to question even more like what is important to me, like whether sort of traveling around exploring by myself is going to make me feel happy and fulfilled, or really if other things are more important to me, like being with friends and family or rescuing another dog, which is something I've been thinking about more and more with each passing day really, and how important that does feel to me. Gave me so many great ideas in my video a few weeks ago when I was kind of asking, what should I do, and just feeling really, really lost and feeling like I needed something to occupy myself with, like in these coming months. And I kind of put together like some of these ideas and felt like I was coming up with a plan basically of how I could spend my time. And then I saw a job advertised at a dog rescue, like a part-time job caring for the dogs. And it just felt like some sort of sign that I should apply for it. So I did. I haven't heard from them, and I'm probably not going to get that job anyway, but it made me start thinking, because at first I wasn't quite sure about it. I felt like I'd kind of made this plan. I thought, okay, if I get this job, obviously I won't be able to go off to all these different places and be doing all these things because I'll be staying in this one place to do this work. But as the days would pass through like the week after that, spending this weekend by myself, my mind has just kind of been moving towards feeling like actually maybe that's like far more important to me. Like what is my purpose? I think all creatures have a purpose regardless if they're humans or other animals, and for humans it can be really hard for us to find our purpose. I've known for a long time that I want to be doing something helpful. It sounds cheesy, but I would like to leave the world a better place for being in it. And for me, my passion is animals, really. As you guys know, I'm vegan, and if I, could have some sort of job that was built around that, about trying to promote like compassion to animals, that would be great. But I've been vegan for 8 years and that hasn't really happened. When I adopted Nancy Drew, which is something else that I had always wanted to do, I felt like I was finally able to make a difference in another way. So I'd already making changes in my personal life as to how I can live my life and how I can personally make like the biggest impact, and that was by choosing to live a vegan lifestyle. But obviously there's many other things in the world that you can do to help, and I want to do more than that. And when I got Nancy, I did feel that I was helping. I had given a home to this poor dog who had never had a home before. I'd only ever lived in kennels, and it wasn't exactly a selfless deed, because let's face it, Miss Nancy gave me so much, and so much more than I ever thought that she could. And I don't know, I just keep seeing things more and more clearly now that she's not here, like how special it was to have this relationship with her, with an animal, to be able to do that and to be able to share my life with her was just such a special thing. And I do want to be able to do that again. I know a lot of you suggested to me that I should get another dog, and I didn't want to rush into things, but the truth is that every day now I just feel like more and more that I do want to adopt another dog, and that what I kind of see in my future is to try and help as many dogs as I can. And I don't know exactly what that would look like, but I would love to be in a position where I could adopt maybe more than one dog, or foster dogs, to try and get them used to a home before they went on to their forever homes with their adopters. Maybe even have my own rescue and just try to be able to do as much as I can to help. Now, I'm not quite sure how to do all these things, but maybe that's what I need to do, and actually trying to make some decisions now. Trying to make decisions now to start heading towards fulfilling that purpose might actually be better for me than just kind of doing random stuff. Obviously, I still want to go and have adventures in the countryside, but working towards being able to help more pointy dogs maybe is my purpose. That's why I started this channel after all, and it's brilliant, and I want to be able to use this channel to carry on kind of, spreading the word about these dogs, showing people how great they are. I'm trying to share information as well about the plight of these dogs before they even get the chance to come to rescue. It's long been a dream of mine to have some land where I could build a tiny house or renovate some sort of old house. So it started off thinking it would be in Europe, where that was obviously much cheaper, but potentially you might be able to get some land here as well. And that's what I need to try and start researching and looking towards doing, because once I have some land of my own, I can start trying to like set up these other things. So if any of you have any experience or information with buying land, or if you have some piece of land for sale, if you've got any experience or information about any of this, I'd be glad to hear from you. I'm trying to start doing some research, kind of watching videos on YouTube and looking at things on the internet. But I feel like that is probably my goal. That's where I want to go. Yeah, try to build a life where I can start helping as many animals as possible, basically. Maybe that's my purpose, you know? I think it might be. I spent so long talking about myself that I've totally lost my sister. So I may need to send up a flare to see if I can locate her. Where is the sweet angel? She's up here. Chloe! What's your heart? I called for you, but you don't reply, and all the other people stared at me like I was a mentalist. This kind of like modern sculpture isn't really my favorite. I absolutely love like natural shapes and natural materials, things that feel very organic and that sit kind of in the natural landscape. One of my favorite sculptors is Peter Randall Page, who lives in Dartmoor, I believe, still, and he has several sculptures that are just out in the countryside. One of them is in the middle of a river, and it's basically this big boulder, but split open and carved inside, so it looks like a kind of giant seed pod split open, and it's just incredible. I went there to find it once. So you're walking down the river and suddenly you just see it on this little island in the middle, and I love that. Like that's my favorite thing, sculptures that are part of the natural environment, that people don't have to pay to go and see, that you just come across and, you know, work with the natural landscape. Looks remarkably like a tree root masquerading as a tree root. I mean, let's be honest, some art is just so confusing, and my personal preference is just for something that does not need any kind of an explanation. You know, I just think it should be beautiful to look at, basically, and you should be able to appreciate it without having to read some lengthy explanation of what everything means. But that's just my preference in, you know, what I like in art and sculpture. The views of St Michael's Mount from the garden here are just so incredible walking down. I love it. Speak of the devil, I just saw this and thought, I'll show you this. This is more my kind of thing. And what do you know? It's Peter Randall Page. The way it all fits together, you know, the textures, the way it looks like it's just fallen apart. Maybe it has been carved from one piece of from stone. So beautiful. I hope you've enjoyed this look around the sculpture garden. There's so much more to see here, more sculptures, more beautiful plants, and it's just a really lovely garden to wander around. You could spend the whole day here if you wanted to. And there's also a very nice looking cafe just outside, so I definitely recommend coming here if you're in the Penzance area. Hope you didn't mind listening to me waffle again. Sorry about that, went on a bit, didn't it? I'll have to see what I can cut out when I edit this. But as always, thank you for watching. From me, for the spirit of Nancy Drew, really appreciate you being here. See you next time.